Hi guys, I've had a brilliant question just come in, so I'm going to answer it. First of all, here's the question. For someone who doesn't do healing work for others as a career, what advice do you give for when to help/heal a person in your life who's a drainer? And when do we walk away to protect our own energy? So that's a great question, and we're going to look into that right now. We're going to go into it. We're going to do a deep dive. First of all, you may have heard me say this before, we're all radiators and drains at any given moment throughout the week. Sometimes we feel like our battery life is 30%. What do you do with that? For me, when people ask me, what do I do when I'm drained? I say, well, when an animal is not unwell and doesn't feel well, what does it do? It goes and drinks water, doesn't eat, and just lies down. And that's their healing process. And I took to that very quickly. So I keep out of the way of everybody. I lie down in my corner and just drink lots of water until I feel better. In between that process, I'll cleanse and clean and heal myself. But what I'm trying to say is that this part of the conversation is that certain people don't do that. Certain people need to get out there and take from others. They don't know, most people don't realize that they're selfish and they're being selfish. And those who are attuned, attentive, aware, awake, and sometimes you'll find that somebody will say, oh, I'm not feeling too good, maybe I shouldn't be here, I'm sorry, or they start saying something and apologize immediately because they know that they're putting on somebody else and it's too much. So there are different types of people who are at different levels of understanding of their awareness. One thing you can never do is blame them. They don't know, just like I didn't know, just like you didn't know when you've done it. So there are times that we grow as we get older and we see things. Some people don't, some people never, and some people are just damn right so selfish that they don't see it, and that's the way it is. So we have to understand that, and that's the great point to what you've just said. So that said, let's go back to the healing process. So we all know somebody who is a drain on our energy. We all of us know somebody like that, and we kind of run away or cross the road. But there are times where we have no choice because they might be a member of family, they might be our partner, our children, and we have to feel as if we have to be there and we have to be the healer, even though we're not a healer. And that means we have to sit there and listen to that energy. We have to be in that energy, and then we feel drained or negative, and then we have to then build ourselves back up. So the point to the question is, I'm not a healer, Mark. So when do I walk away and protect my energy, or when do I stay? I guess, let me just read this thoroughly and I don't make a mistake. For someone who doesn't do healing work for others as a career, what advice do you give when to heal? Well, if you're not a healer, then it's difficult for me to say that, because if you're not a healer, then I can't give you advice who to heal if you don't know how to heal. Natural healing is something that we all do. So let's talk about natural healing. The first time that ever happened to me, I've spoke about this before, was when I was doing some psychic work. And when I'd finished the psychic work, the school teacher said, "You've healed me." And I said, "Beg your pardon?" She said, "You've just healed me." And I said, No, I'm not a healer." She says, "You are a healer. I feel better, I feel stronger, I feel healed." And I said, "No, I didn't give you any healing." And she looked at me and she says, "What could be more beautiful than healing somebody and not knowing that you healed them?" That kind of blew me away, and it set me on a journey to become a healer. What I realized from that point and from this moment, so the 2 decades I've worked as a healer, that we are all natural healers. Now, we need to understand what natural healing means and what's the implications of that. So let's talk about that, shall we? So I am the founder of something called Pure Energy Healing, and it's worldwide now, and people from all over the world come and practice the healing arts, and they try and understand how to heal and how to protect themselves, how to cleanse themselves, and how to channel healing. One of the principles of pure energy healing, and one of the things that we don't say be oh, it's scary or frightening, just be aware of, is when you give healing, there are certain methods of healing that I noticed on the participants' energy, what was happening. So one of these natural phenomena is heart healing, I call. And what is heart healing? What's connected to heart healing? Predominantly, I notice that when somebody is so connected to their client on a personal level that they really need to heal them and they feel they want to heal them, what happens is it automatically leaves their heart, that is their energy, and goes straight into the client. So I used to watch this. Anyway, when they sat down, I used to notice that they looked different from all the other participants. They looked more drained. And I put two and two together after a while and realized, okay, I get it now. It makes complete sense. You're using your own energy, which is depleting your life force and your energy, so you're feeling weaker at the end, whereas all the other participants are fine. Why is that? Because they were channeling. They were bringing forth an energy which went through their hands or through their head or through their legs or through their back, and it went straight into the client. So they were a channel. They were a vessel for this energy. But this other lady was not pulling that energy. She was just giving from her heart because she was so personally involved that she was giving everything she had. She wasn't receiving anything. She was giving because she felt that's what she needed to do. So a lot of us tend to give from the heart naturally, and sometimes we'll, without knowing, as well, the same thing, natural and not knowing, but knowing too. So when you're sat, it can become really difficult to explain, but imagine you sat with somebody who's just told you that they've lost their mum and they're crying. When you think to yourself that you feel helpless and there's nothing you can do, there's an automatic reaction in the heart that's crying out. So your mind, your eyes, and your thoughts, your spirit hears this and then starts to give. It's a natural giving from the heart, and it's pouring your love and healing into them. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I would never stop anybody from doing it. However, if you're a full-time healer and you're doing that all the time, then that isn't a really good thing, because you're going to be drained at every healing session. So this is why there is a difference between channeling energy and giving freely your heart energy or your spirit's energy to be depleted. And a lot of times after that conversation with somebody who's crying and you give them a hug, which is a healing session in itself, they go away and feel better and you feel drained. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but if you're watching this now, I'm sharing something which is 20 years experience. So I can say to you, now that you know this, is there an alternative? So you ask the question and I'll give you the answer. It's very simple. When you are in the company of somebody that you know is a drainer, you have two choices. You can either walk away and let it be and leave them be and look up and say, please help them, okay? And then somebody else will help, I'm sure. There's always somebody else. If you pass away tomorrow, you think everything's going to stop? No, life carries on, and people will still feel bad, and people will still come to help somebody else. There's always somebody there, so you have to stop thinking to yourself you're the only one to help certain people. It's a misnomer. It's a bad thought that you hold on to. It's no good. But if you look up and say, please help, then the spirit world listens and they will help, truly, even though they're helping anyway. Secondly, the second thing you can do is you can sit with them and you can focus your energy on one hand, which is receiving, and the second hand, which is giving. And you don't get involved with the conversation. You don't listen to it and you don't get personally involved. You don't start to think how I can heal and what I can do. You just simply place your hand on them or hold their other hand. So I've often been in the village and somebody's crying and I'll hold their hand and the other hand is down here so they can't see. And I will just hold them, or I'll put my arm around them and receive energy and just not interfere with my thoughts and my feelings. I will just let the energy run through. And you'll start to feel the heat coming from your hand. You'll feel the heat running through you and the tingling. And that is the way to heal somebody, but not getting involved. Don't think about what they're saying. Don't get involved. Don't create a scenario in your head about anything. Just give them healing and stay out of the way. So let the body be the vessel to heal that person. Okay? And that is the way I do it. And then when you walk away, you just say, okay, I did my best. I was there for them at the time they needed me. I hope that what you've given me is enough. In fact, I'm sure it is, and I've done my bit. And then you're on your way. So you don't get involved in an emotional and personal way when you're healing a drainer. So you can do either or of those things. And that way you can walk away and feel better for it. And now that you know this amazing secret, and it is a secret, most people won't tell you this. When you know this, you can then start to work on it. So the more you meet people, and this is something that is profound, the more you practice this, the more you do it, and more you realize I'm not affected by it and I'm not taking it personal, the more spirit will bring people to you, and before you know it, you'll become a healer without even realizing that you're a healer. And they'll, okay, Tracy's got it now. Tracy's doing it. Tracy's actually channeling our energy to give to them. I'm not going to go into more detail. There's another 2 or 3 subjects, and one of the other subject that is attached to this is spirit coming into your energy field and giving energy as well. So when you move away, spirit is still there healing them. And that is something that a lot of people used to say to me after a healing session. If I worked on the head for 15 or 20 minutes and I'm in that energetic frequency and I move away from there, whatever I've created at that point, the spirit world can come into that energy and then continue the healing. That's why many of my clients used to say, there's more than one person in this room. You were there and then I felt you there, but you weren't there, you were there and it was weird. Or you went out of the room, but I felt that there was somebody in the room, and I said, yeah, that's your family in spirit helping you. So, but that's another subject that can go on, and we can talk about so many splinters. We can go down so many paths on this level. But the question was fabulous. Love the question. So, now that you've got this source of information and you've got these few tools to work with, the choice is yours. For me, there's been times when I felt in my mind that I wasn't strong enough. Sometimes I felt in my energy field that I was weak. Sometimes I felt physically in pain. None of those things for me are something that would make me want to help heal someone. For me, like the dog, I want to go and lie down until I feel 100% fit. If I'm 100% fit, that means that whatever I'm going to give to somebody else, they're going to receive, because once I place my hand over somebody and around them or hold them, I receive energy which is 100% pure healing. When that comes through me, if I'm 100% healed and I'm revitalized and I'm strong and I'm no longer ill and I feel great, that 100% will run through my body, run through my arm, and go straight into that person who needs it. Whereas if I am, say, 30% of battery life, if I'm giving somebody a healing and I'm feeling bad and I'm receiving that healing, well, it makes sense to see that you're only going to give about 30% to your client, because the other 70% goes into you, because you need the healing first more than them. So they're not going to get a full healing session. They're not going to get 100%. So my advice would be, first of all, am I feeling strong to be able to help this person? If the answer is yes, then I give them time. What do I do next? I don't get involved. I don't listen. I just sit there and hold them, let them talk and say anything, but my focus is in giving them energy. So when they're finished, they've received the energy, and that will help heal them from the coming next 7 days. When do I walk away? I walk away if I feel wholeheartedly that this is too personal, it's too much for me, and it's going to take up all my energy, and I'll be pouring out my heart to try and help them, and that's not going to make me feel better, and I have a lot of work to do today, so I can't give them. So I will look up and say, listen guys, please help my family member out, my brother, my sister, my partner, but today I've got to get off. And the reason why is because I need all my energy to help in other circumstances and things that you need to do throughout the day. If not, and you give healing to that person, then the rest of the day is probably going to fall apart. You're going to start feeling sick. You're going to be tired. And then what? No good for nothing. So you make the decision. But on a final note, whatever you decide to do is always the right thing. And I want to thank you for being a beautiful healer to all the people that you've healed in the past. And this comes from a beautiful person who truly wants to master healing and to know how to heal somebody at the right time. And I hope, with my hand on my heart, that I've given you the right information that you can sit down, meditate on, think about, and maybe, just maybe, utilize some of the tools and the secrets that I've learned over these 20 years as a pure energy healer. So from my heart to yours, thank you for being a most beautiful natural healer and for shining a light in this world and being the most amazing lighthouse. We need you to be strong. Be the lighthouse. Have a great day. Love you all.